Hey guys, what's going on? So tips and tricks video number 2 for cutting, and it's gonna be tracking your progress, such as weights and what days you work out and what you do, um, your physical weight, um, at a consistent basis, and also your food intake, your caloric intake, and your macros. Um, and next week's video, just a heads up, is going to be how to actually calculate your macros and kind of what you should be taking in for a cutting diet. And so we're not going to get into the specifics on your actual macro intake on this video, but just start thinking about it, start tracking now, and kind of see what you eat day to day, and then next week, or maybe later in the week, we'll put out a video to where you can tweak that. So back to what I was saying. So tracking is probably the biggest, one of the most important things when you're cutting, or just trying to make gains and progress, is because one, it's one thing to mentally note something, and then it's one thing to actually write it down, be able to, compare numbers to each other weeks by weeks, months by months. So it's a lot different. So when you actually physically write it down, you can look back and see specifics and see if you're actually gaining or not, as opposed to just saying, well, I think I was, 210 last week, and now I'm 205. You don't really see the progress. You don't really see how you could make it, how you could be more time efficient with what you're doing. So just tracking progress in general and writing it down is a huge tip. And the three main things is going to be, your weight, your progress. I don't know if you guys just saw it, but I totally just flicked you guys off. But number 2 is going to be your weight in the gym, I think, and then 3 is going to be your macros. So so I'm going to break those down, 3 each, of why they're important to track and why it's necessary. So first one, kind of the outer lying one, is one, the physical, seeing it on the paper, and 2, it's going to keep you guys motivated to see that you're actually making the gains, you're actually doing what you're supposed to. Looking at my weight just from these past 2 weeks, it motivates me to keep going. So that is the big outlying reason on why you should do it. So but getting into the specifics, so weight in the gym, this is the one thing that I don't actually do. Generally, just because I have a decent basis on knowing what I lift on each movement, but it's really important to track that and know if you're getting stronger, if you're getting weaker. Usually when you're cutting, you're getting a little bit weaker. But I think with weight, you can maybe make a mental note on just where you're at and just kind of see week to week. I probably try to max out on a movement every 3 weeks just to see if I'm, where I'm at with strength. So that's that, and that's probably the least important. Now, both of these are very important. So the least important one is out of the way. So weighing yourself and tracking your macros. So tracking your macros is probably the biggest one, just because it's literally going to determine whether you lose weight, you gain weight, or you stay the same. So you have a basal metabolic rate, or a BMR, I think is the abbreviated, and that's pretty much what calories you need to intake a day to stay right at the weight that you are. So for most people, it's probably around 2,000 to 2,500. If you want to cut, you want to go anywhere from 250 to 500 below that rate of calories. If you want to gain muscle or gain weight, you want to go from so now we're getting kind of specifics, but you want to go about 250 to 500 above. And that's pretty much how that works, and that's how your body gains weight. And then we're going to go more into that in specifics, but inside calories are broken down by macros. So your main macros are going to be protein, carbs, and fats. And the reason why you usually get fatter if you eat a lot of fats is because fats are equivalent to 9 calories. Calories are based off of macros. So that's why it's more important to track your macros aside from your calories. But we'll get into that next week. So just know that when you're going into it, is that calories are just a guesstimate, but they are important. So that's kind of that. So tracking your calories is really going to be a good way to tell, predict what your body is going to, look like the next day and what it's physically going to do the next day. Are you going to drop weight, stay the same, or gain weight? So that's where that comes into play. And again, guys, tracking this not just in your mind, but actually on something. An app. It's called MyFitnessPal. I'm going to flash a picture up of the app right now. I'm pretty sure it's not just iPhones, it's every phone. I'm pretty sure it's powered by Under Armour, so it should be every phone. This is going to allow you to just type in a food, and it's going to bring it up, and it's going to have a huge list of just, different inputs that people have already made. You have simplistic, complex, you have restaurants that people put in, all that kind of stuff. So it's just a big database of food. And even if you're eating out, some people say, well, I eat out all the time, so I can't track because I don't know what's in the food. Do your best, guys. I'm at college. I eat at a food court every day. I don't actually know what's in the food. It's probably a lot more fatty than I think it is because, it's a restaurant. They're trying to make it taste good, so it's probably going to be a little bit more fatty. But I still track it. I still try to get a rough estimate of where I'm at. I obviously don't weigh out stuff. I eyeball it. You just got to do your best with what you got. So just start tracking that down. It's called MyFitnessPal. And I'm going to flash, I'll flash it up on the screen what it looks like in the name. So next thing, guys, so tracking your calorie intake is probably the biggest. And then also shoot for day to day, but maybe every 3 days if you can, is just weigh yourself. Your weight is obviously not what your cut is based off of. You're probably cutting so you look better. You don't care about the weight. If somebody told me I would weigh 300 pounds but look, ripped, fine, bring it on. But, it's all about how we look in the mirror, but the weight is a good way to judge whether you're achieving your goal or not. And it's also going to keep you motivated at the same time. That's a huge thing when dieting is motivation, because you fall off the train. And when you can kind of look back on those numbers and say, wow, I'm really coming a long way. Like, I can't stop now. That's huge. That's huge. You're not going to cheat if that's the case. So weigh yourself, guys. Track, track, track. That's the name of the game when you're cutting, is tracking. So track your calorie intake. Even if you can't do it, straight to a T, it's okay. Just, get it down. Look what you've seen through the day. Look what you kind of need more of. This and that. And then your weight is the second biggest thing of just seeing what you're doing day to day and if you're keeping good with your diet or you're cheating a little bit. So if you do both those things, guys, you guys are going to be right on par with your diet. Right where you need to be. I guarantee it. It's going to make a world of difference. It has since I started. I already am noticing progress. So this is the first cut where I've actually started tracking stuff, and I've already noticed a huge difference. So do it. So with that being said, I know the Alphalete video is not out yet, guys. The stuff came here. I recorded it last night, and it just didn't come out how I envisioned it. So I'm going to re-record stuff, take actual photos of it, all that kind of stuff to make it a really quality video. I'm going to start shooting for more quality content, and that'll actually get people engaged. So that's soon to come. So yeah, later in the week, definitely a workout. I swear to God, definitely a workout. A workout is coming. I gotta end it. I'll see you guys hopefully on the next video. Have a great day. More importantly, make somebody else's day even better. I'll see you guys later.